All right, today we are taking notes on forces. Write this down in your notebook.
A force is a push or a pull in a particular direction. You can see that these children are pulling and pushing the wagon.
Force equals mass times acceleration. And we'll work on this more as we get into it. And you'll often see the equation written out as F equals ma.
Forces can make objects stop, start, move faster, move slower, or change direction.
So if you think about it, anytime an object moves, there's a force acting on it.
And sometimes when they don't move. Forces are measured in newtons.
Forces act in a particular direction.
Forces usually cannot be seen, but their effects can.
So like gravity. We can't see gravity, the force of gravity, but we know that it's there. We can see that anytime we drop a pen, it's going to fall to the ground. Our car is not floating off the road because of gravity.
Which is indicated here by the green arrow. Net force is when forces combine.
So forces can work together in the same direction, or they might work in opposite directions.
And that word will appear soon. There it is. Ta-da. So these diagrams that you are seeing here indicate both balanced and unbalanced forces. First, we'll talk about balanced forces.
A balanced force is if the two forces equal each other and they don't change the object's motion. So they cancel each other out. So for example, this bottom one here, if I'm pushing on a box with 5 newtons to the right and someone is pushing back with 5 newtons to the left, the net force is 0.
Or the forces can be unbalanced forces, and this is when they are not equal and the object moves. As you can see from the two top diagrams, there are unbalanced forces at work here. We have the topmost diagram has 5 newtons and 5 newtons working together. The middle diagram has newtons that are working in opposite directions. Therefore, there will be movement for both of those. And we have more force diagrams to discuss here. Actually, they're the same ones, but here you go.
So when two forces act in the same direction, the resulting force, the net force, is the sum of the two forces. You add them together.
But if the forces act in opposite directions, you don't add them, you subtract them. Therefore, you are getting the difference between the forces.
So again, that top one, 5 newtons to the right and 5 newtons to the right, gives you a net force of 10 newtons to the right. You add those together.
However, in the middle, you have 5 newtons and 10 newtons working in opposite directions. We are going to subtract them, and that will result in 5 newtons because 10 minus 5 is 5, last time I checked. We also have 5 newtons working opposite of 5 newtons, and we are subtracting those, resulting in a balanced force of 0 newtons.
So those are all force diagrams, and they show you the net forces that are acting on an object. And that's what we're going to practice next after we finish these notes today, drawing force diagrams.
So in this image, we have 2 students that are pushing against each other. So if they are pushing against each other, are their forces opposite or are they working together? opposite. That's correct. Very good job. Okay, so are their forces equal or not equal? Now think about the fact that they are not tipping over. Neither one of them is tipping over. Therefore, the forces are equal, and the resultant net force will be subtracted. So it will be a 0 because 5 minus 5 is 0. Now, in our next image,
We're going to do a little more math. This one's going to get hard.
coming up. Here we go.
Okay, so we have a game of tug of war between the blue team and the green team. So, are they pushing or pulling? Yes, pulling. Good work. And the forces are written in there for you. So are they equal or not? Yeah, they're not, because the green team is pulling with 2,500 newtons. Blue team is pulling with 2,200 newtons. So which way is this tug of war going to go? Yeah, to the right. Good job. And so the net force, again, because they are working in opposite directions, you are going to find the difference between these two. So the green team is going to win to the right, and 2,500 minus 2,200 gives you 300 newtons, and it will be in the direction to the right.
And thus concludes our notes on force diagrams. Thank you for listening and writing.
Thank you.